Howdy, everyone, and welcome to my Disfantastic vlog, episode 3, Unproductivity. I'm so glad you're here, and the main issues we're going to be talking about are number 1, my TikTok decision and what I decided to do on TikTok. Number 2, what to do when you're unproductive and how to manage that. And number 3 is mindset and personal growth from my Rise Up World class I'm in, which you can all enter for free. Not sponsored. Wish I was. Um, what's being worked on? We have just one goal for today that we're going to be discussing is TikTok. And update number 1, I have made the decision to focus on you guys here on YouTube. Will be still doing my TikTok. I still gotta figure out how everything's going to be set up. Number 2 is a new snippet format for my TikToks. This is where I'll be cutting 10 to 60-second snippets from these and other videos I post on my channel, putting those into a folder and drawing from that folder when I need to upload TikTok videos. Number 3 is I already have a background set up to convert these into portrait format. I have already cut up episode 2 of this vlog and need to cut up the other. And I've already uploaded some videos. I've not been back on an upload schedule for TikTok yet, but I will. And number 4, I definitely need to figure out when and how I'm uploading. Not only did I manage to get plenty of content for a week from one video, but more so. So I need to figure out scheduling to actually upload those because I'll not be able to post more on TikTok. But I need to make sure it's manageable so I do consistently put out videos, which will actually help me on there and help lead people from there to here. And I've one thing that I'm working on understanding is my audience is most active on average at around 10 p.m. So I'm trying to figure out what a good upload time and if there's some way I can automate that, which I'm sure there is. I just haven't figured that out yet. If you do know a way to automate uploading things to TikTok, let me know in the comments below, because that would be great for me, as well as I will share you and give you a shout out in the next video or whenever video I have after you say that is before I've actually figured out how to do it myself. So what I'm focused on this week, my big 3 are YouTube, my blog site, and Toastmasters speech. So on YouTube, I'm figuring out a good time to actually have these. My goal, which I completely missed today, is to start prepping for the video, setting up the lighting and everything at 3:30, start recording at 4, and try and get it to premiere at 6. If this premieres at 6, it's a miracle, because I highly doubt I can get everything done in time after this is done. But that is the plan, and hopefully in the near future, I'll be able to have these coming out on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every week. That's the goal. The blog site, I'm still trying to figure out how to set up the column the way I want it to be set up. It's a method I have not done before and the code for it may not actually exist. So I may have to go for novel routes such as pseudo columns where I use the background image, using a table, which tables are terrible, but that might be the option I go with. It doesn't have to be that great on the back end as long as the front end works until I get into PHP, which may be a long time from now. And third idea, which I literally just had as I was hitting record, is to actually just let the column fill up as much as it needs to. Maybe actually have it float. So if the column has more ads, because it's the advertisement column, that's out of the way so you can see everything on the website without the ads blocking you from seeing the website, but still being there. But if I can have it in a way, so like on Facebook, how if you scroll to the bottom of it, but you keep scrolling down, it will automatically move and adjust. If I can figure it out, that's the third idea. But those one will come that with Toastmasters 21 speech is pretty much the speech from the information I've talked about in the episode 0, episode 1 of this vlog, as well as what I have on the Patreon post within that. which I do plan on once I perfect this speech, which I'll be giving it 2 times in Toastmaster, actually turning it into a 5 to 7 minute video on here as well. So discussion when you're less than productive. There are times where any of us will have times where we're not productive. For me, this last week, I was less than productive on several of the days. And that happens. That's going to happen. It has happened. It will probably happen to every single one of us in the future. A big thing from this is to actually learn from the failure and learn from it instead of trying to get upset and beat yourself up for it. To take it as, here, this is what I did wrong, and this is how I can improve in the future. With things such as Toastmasters, I have not worked on my speech at all, which I need to, because I believe I'm giving it only in January. My blog site, which I have only spent an hour or so on, which I need to work a lot harder on, so I can get this launched, so I can actually have the money to get better effects and stuff for you guys. And writing this, I have planned to get this done, the script for this done on Wednesdays nights. I actually stayed up really late on Thursday because I had not started it yet. So those are kind of the issues I've had this week, and a big thing is to not beat yourself up for it. To sit down and make a better plan, such as mine will be, I can start working on the blog site. I need to build up to an hour a day, so I can start working at after my classes on Monday, take a break, and then work on that, as well as start working on the speech a little, as well as on Tuesday, a little bit after I wake up, and Wednesday after my mental health coach. And after you make a plan, you need to move forward. Whatever happened in the past, it's too late to change. It's too late to undo. There's no way that we have access to, that science has access to go back and change any of those. What you gotta do is you gotta take those lessons and move forward with them. And with moving forward, it gives you a chance to grow from that and become even better from that loss in the long term. Because say this is a week where I messed up. If this 1 week makes every other week 1% more efficient, then that will have a huge impact on the future from 1 week of mistake and would actually be worth it. Another thing that I wanted to talk about with this is to actually set aside time to just kind of relax and do what you want to do instead of trying to work all the time. I tend to be a workaholic and then tend to crash from that. So I'm trying to set aside days where I'm only working for, say, a couple hours. So the other days I can be a lot more productive instead of trying to do all the work on each day and then getting upset when nothing happens on one of the days. So right now I'm still deciding on what days. I'm thinking of going with Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. But still thinking about that. From there, I like to talk about what I'm learning from. From Jason Capital's mentorship, I was learning an email format that he uses in his IG agent course. I don't have it fully detailed, but you can, if you want to, you can get the course. I think it's only a couple thousand. Um, not in my budget at this moment, but his EIE course, which is also a couple thousand, was life changing. But here's the email. It is something you would respond after you see Instagram post of someone who you want to be your client. You start off by saying, hey, I love this post. Then you put a screenshot of that post. Then you do something to give them value, which kind of gives them something that you know and you understand that would help them without expecting anything in return. Then you explain the error they're doing. So say if they're not posting every day, you would explain how that they're not posting every day, and that would help increase their views and help them with the Instagram algorithm, which if you can understand Instagram algorithm like Jason knows, you have a lot of advantage because most people are confused on that. And then you add the question, which is kind of the call to action, but you're not actually calling them to look for you in this point. You're getting a discussion going by asking them a question about the business to show that you're interested. Remember that not to focus on yourself with this. You're not trying to sell yourself in this email, but you're trying to tune into what's in it for me, or WIIFM radio, as Jason calls it, so that you can understand what they want and you can show them and help them come to the conclusion that you are the method to help them best. And if you're not, you're probably not going to come to the conclusion unless you're being slimy. But if you are, then this is perfectly legitimate, and you are doing a disservice if you don't help them come to the conclusion, because you are robbing them of the opportunity to get the help they need. Another thing is a website that I'm still trying to figure out how to use. It's also in the IG agent course, and I'm not in that course, so I don't have the classes on how to use it. But Jason had used it to find a huge list of companies he was targeting, and you guys might have a better chance with me than this. The website is myip dot ms, or myip.ms. So I still got to figure that out. Definitely seems useful once I can do that. Um, in Japanese classes, I was asking more about the possessive particle no, and was trying to remember words like yume, which is dream, or kyuso, kyuso, which is daydream. I'm clearly still learning. I'll get there. And Rise Up Whoa, this is what we'll be talking about a lot today, is we are talking about mindset and personal growth this week, and how to max out in the year 2021 our growth for mindset and personal growth, so that we can excel in those two buckets. With mindset, first we'll talk about the subcategories. There are 5 for this. The first is growth versus fixed. My takeaway from here is to have a catchphrase. I haven't fully figured out something, but I know there's some awesome ones, like Pete Vargas had an awesome one. And I know my friend from high school and college had, I think it was, cruises don't back out, they walk out. So I've been trying to think of one, and the one I've come up with so far, which I probably won't use, is Noble Naomi's Never Cower. But I'm still trying to figure out one. The second one is transformational thinking. My takeaway is to find the reoccurring negative thoughts and replace them with a powerful truth. So something I use for this is scripture and the quote child of God, to understand that I am a child of God. So if I'm saying something negative, not only would that not be true if it's not true, but that would be me insulting a child of God. This can be anything for you. Any truths that you have that can replace that negative thought. Because if it's something you know to be fact, random thought against it won't stand a chance. But not doing this allows those thoughts to continue to beat you up, lower your confidence, and mess up your mindset. Number 3 is eliminating limiting beliefs. So with this, my takeaway is to find anyone who has done something similar. Because if someone has done it in the past, then it's 100% possible to do it now. And one thing with limiting beliefs is you can think that I couldn't do this. If someone went from living in the ghettos to selling an amazing clothing brand called Fubu, theoretically, this theoretical person, then I could go from living in the ghettos to also have an incredibly well selling brand. If someone is able to take an oil company and build an empire monopoly from it that literally laws had to change to control, then I could find a way to take something I'm working on and build a huge empire from it, possibly something so powerful that laws would be needed to control, which I plan on doing good with it, and our Congress doesn't do anything, so that's not an issue. Number 4 is to be present. Now, my takeaway from this wasn't actually from the class, it was from something I've studied before called dialectical behavioral therapy, or DBT. It teaches something called mindfulness, is where you become fully aware in the present and are fully aware of what's going on. Every action you're taking is conscious, and the subconscious routines that would be running through your head aren't affecting. Honestly, this sounds exhausting to me, but it's something I have looked into, I've liked, and I plan to look into more in the future. Number 5 is gratitude and generosity. This one, my takeaway I've already been doing is to have a gratitude journal. Pete Vargas was suggesting you do that in the mornings, but I do 3 things in the mornings, but I do 5 things at night. And that has been amazing for me. My annual intentions for mindset is to have a year without depression, anxiety, or limits. All and that all things will turn out for the Lord's will, and I will reach the destiny I am foreordained for. That is my intention. I've already mostly conquered one of those things. That leaves 2 left. My core intention is to be limitless. It's my intention that I will succeed and there is nothing that can or will stop me. What success looks like in the end of the year for me in mindset is being fully efficient, able to carry out any plan I make. I still have a ways to get there. Now for personal growth, we have 4 subcategories for personal growth. First one is your miracle morning. My takeaway is to set up your mornings, to set up your day. I'm still figuring out how to do this. There's a few things that I've even talked about on here before that I plan to implement still, but I need to figure out. I need to be able to make it so I'm eating, meditating, hydrating, um, prayer, etc. And right now it's mostly I'm waking up and rushing off to do stuff. So I gotta work on that to upset my day in the best direction I can. Second one is wisdom. To learn wisdom and not just education. A big thing with this that I believe is to learn to recognize gurus. You need to find evidence if you're going to find a guru or someone to teach you that they actually know what they're talking about. This can be someone who has great muscles and in great shape teaching you gym, or someone who has just sold you a course on copywriting through copy. That's one of the things with copywriting, sales, and closing. These are all skills used in marketing. So if they use that skill to sell you a course on that skill, if you buy it, they probably know what they're talking about. If you don't buy it, they probably don't know what they're talking about. If they're using the same medium. For example, you could use copywriting to sell a course on closing. I don't know a lot of Dan Locke's stuff. From what I've seen, most of the stuff most methods he uses to sell you are either sales or copywriting, though he pushes closing as the most effective high income skill. Though if you're reading a sales page of copy that's selling you on copywriting, and you end up buying the course, it probably knows what it's talking about. Though if you start seeing red flags and getting sus, it doesn't know what it's doing, or it's making easy mistakes that will probably teach you to make if you get the course. What's interesting, if you do get one of these courses and it's kind of fun and annoyance, you will notice as they're teaching you, they'll be teaching you exactly how they got you to buy the course, which gets aggravating when you're like, I fell for that, but then you realize this works and now I know how to do it. Number 3 is goal setting / planning. This is where you make a plan, as I was talking about earlier on this today, and you go from that plan forward. This is more than just intention. This is actually planning stuff out and following your plan. For example, a script or a schedule, or even goals to achieve something, such as an education. Number 4 is championship coaches. Big takeaway for this is to get a coach in every part of your life. This doesn't just have to be a guru talking to you one-on-one. This can be a YouTube video like this. This can be a free course or free webinar. This can be an online course. This can be a book. This can be a documentary. This can be on Skillshare, not sponsored, though wish we were. Or anything really that helps you learn and grow in every section of your life. My annual intentions for personal growth are my biggest issue is communication. More than just sales and closing, but on a regular life level, with introversion, autism, and apraxia, on top of the trust issues and narcissistic fleas I got from being gaslighted. I have a lot to overcome in this area. I've made huge strides this year, and I plan to finish it off next year, like double tapping a zombie. My annual intention for 2021 is to resolve and overcome 80% of these issues. My core intention for personal growth is to grow into the me I am foreordained to be. Now, for me, what success at the end of the year looks like is continuing to become 1% better each day, or as many in James Capital's courses would know, Kaizen, to become a little bit better every day, to continue learning, continue growing, and not stopping. Because if you're always growing every day, you can never plateau. But once you plateau, just like an object you toss in the air, it will start coming back down. So that's all for this week. Subscribe for next week's video by hitting the subscribe button and hopefully ringing that notification bell to let us know straight into your notifications when we do this next. Like or dislike to let me know what you thought about this video. Either way helps me understand, and if you disliked it or liked it, please comment and to give feedback down below, or to decide if it's on TikTok, or you can DM me on Twitter at DesignerKenta, or on TikTok and Twitch as Kenta Naomi. Thank you all so much. Take care, keep growing, and may the peace of the Spirit be with you.